guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've recently gone to a phase where I've purchased a lot of drugstore foundations. So I sat down and I was looking at my foundation pile that I had collected, and I said that it will be great to do a video where I will take 5 of the most highly rated drugstore foundations and I will put them through the test. So I really want to test them side by side and to be able to tell you by the end of this video, which for me it will be by the end of this week, which of these foundation is the best drugstore foundation and which one is like more skippable. I'm also filming in parallel a similar video for highly rated drugstore concealers, so you wanna be subscribed, ring the bell, stay in touch and don't miss that one either. And to take that out from the beginning, I would like to tell you that my skin is normal combination, meaning that I have a very oily T-zone and I also have enlarged pores on this area due to a heavy acne that I was dealing with through my teenage. So what I'm expecting from a foundation is to be able to control at some level the oiliness of my skin and to stay put on my face without separating or collecting into my enlarged pores or into my face line expressions. I'm not dealing with deep lines or wrinkles, but I do have some expression lines. So if any of these are your concern, and even though your face is perfect, you don't have any of these problems and you just want to see it, then just keep watching. The journey starts with Rimmel London Match Perfection Foundation, which claims to offer you a medium coverage with smart tone technology that matches 99 of UK skin tones. That's a bit of a brave claim, and I don't get the point related to the UK skin tones, but I've got the info from their official website, so we will go with that so far. This foundation comes in 25 shades and I match myself with the shade Ivory. Is it offered in a glass bottle provided with a pump? Fact that I really appreciate. I think this is the cheapest foundation among all we are going to test this week. And is it new to me? This is the first time I will apply it on my face. I don't use any foundation primer, I just have a bit of a blurring primer on the cheek area where I have the largest pores, but other than that, we will see exactly how this foundation wears on its own. We will split the application, we will use the beauty blender to my left side, your right side, and the brush on the right side. Create a smooth base with our range of foundation shades, featuring a 24-hour moisture complex and soft focus pores to glide over pores, dark circles and imperfections. Did someone say flawless? What this product claims to do? It is medium coverage, has smart tone technology, 24-hour moisture complex, and is it infused with an SPF of 20, which is not enough for me, but I always wear my SPF F50 underneath foundation. The application with the brush went out really nice and smooth. Now with the beauty blender you can see that the left side looks a bit dewy and slightly less in coverage. I love both sides and I don't think there is a better way to apply it. Do it as you prefer and you can't go wrong with any of the methods. I'm going to add the concealer out of camera. Actually, I filmed a separate video about drugstore concealers and I will link that on the description box. And I will come back. So, to set the face I will use the Maybelline Masterfix Translucent Setting Powder, and this is the only powder that I will use throughout this testing journey. As you can see, the foundation oxidizes, but not too much, which is awesome! And this is how my face is looking after I applied the rest of the makeup. All the products will be listed down on the description box. But other than that, we will see each other in the end of the day. And by the way, now it's around 10 AM. After 8 hours of wearing, this is how my skin looks like. I did not touch it up by any means, and I can see the forehead and nose area are extremely oily. The oil production started after 3-4 hours from the initial application. Also, I have noticed that foundation has collected between my eyebrows on my expression and on my expression lines, and is it worn off from the nose and also from the chin. Maybe a primer will help to last a bit longer, but this is not the purpose of our test, and if I'm gonna test it with a primer, I will share it with you how it will last on this circumstance. Also, another important aspect, I have noticed that it oxidizes quite a lot. So yeah, I will give this foundation 3 out of 5 stars, just because it was looking great when I applied. So if someone is not dealing with a great oil production, I think they can get along with it pretty well. Next day I've hit the road with our second foundation, and this is the Loreal Infallible Freshwear foundation. This foundation is delivered in 30 shades, retails for $14.99 and I have the shade Ivory, which as you will see is it a bit lighter for me. The shade names differ from US to Europe, so for me, who am normally NW20 on MAC, I usually go for Ivory, but this seems to be too light for me. And this is the fresh swatch, by the way. This foundation offers medium to full coverage, and I do agree with that. Claims to last all day and allows the skin to breathe. The formula claims to absorb oils, resist sweat, water and transfer, and is also infused with an SPF. When it's applied with a brush, a little bit goes a long way, so I had to come back with the beauty blender to absorb the excess. You can tell that I've over-applied in this case. I had to tap the excess with the beauty blender, otherwise there was no way out. Woohoo! It is settled in all of my pores. On the left side, the application using this sponge leaves the skin a bit more natural and fresh, but it still settles on the pores and fine lines and is looking cakey. I see that it dries down and is almost not requiring it to set it with a powder. However, this is something I will do with all the foundations from this video, so L'Oreal Freshwear will make no exception. The formula isn't oxidizing too much, and to be honest, now I would have wanted to do so. This is how the makeup looks on the top, and I had to add quite a lot of bronzer to warm up the very pale cheeks. However, it seems obvious that I'm wearing foundation, and this is a fact I don't like. I didn't touch it by any means since I applied it 8 hours ago, and I can say that I got what is the hype with the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh foundation. Being almost full coverage, and due to the fact that I've over-applied when I used the brush application method, is it amazing that it stayed so good on my skin. Is it a bit separated between my brows and collected into my fine lines, but other than that it did not move so much. Usually full coverage foundations tend to not get along with my oily skin, and the fact that the shade is not really matched is not the fault of this product. But I will give this foundation 3 out of 5 stars because it settles on my pores and my face look cakey, and the shade selection is not usually what it should be when you think on Ivory and you get a shade that is almost close to the alabaster, in my opinion. Day number 3 starts with one of my favorite foundations of all times, and this is the Craze HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I have it in the shade Sand Beige, which is slightly darker for me, but workable on the summer months. They have very poor range of shades though. On catrice.eu website, I'm able to see only 7 shades available. They do have though custom drops, so you can alter the shade of your foundation. I never tried those, so this formula needs to be shaken before application, so we will do that. It has this pipette, dropper, dispenser, which is not my favorite way to dispense foundation. Moreover, because once it happened that I got stain on my clothes from it, so I need to be very careful with that. But if you use a mixing palette to depot your drops, then it's not a big deal. This foundation is not new for me, and I think I have had shown you before how it wears. However, I wanted to include it in this video because it's one of the most favorite drugstore foundations, and I want to see how it compares with the other ones. So as you can see, I've applied a thin layer with a Real Technique small buffer brush, and the coverage that it offers is perfect. They don't say full coverage when they refer to this property, but this is for me full coverage when applied with a brush, and medium when I apply with the beauty blender. You can even build it up and it won't look cakey. So they really did it well with this formula. It's the only full coverage foundation that doesn't look cakey on me. It dries down matte but still looks like skin. When I apply it with a sponge, I have a bit of a dewy finish. I'm wondering how it will look if I will apply it in 100 layers. I think I have seen this challenge a few years ago. It's time to set it with a translucent powder. I forgot to show you if it oxidizes. This is the first swatch, and surprisingly, till now, I can tell this is the first foundation that barely oxidizes. And I'm even more thrilled about that, being the fact that I have it in a darker shade. This is the final makeup look, and today I've used the Naked 2 eyeshadow palette for my look. I just was in the mood for that. It's dark outside, as you probably can tell. I wanted to keep the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation for as long as it was possible, to see how good it is. From some reasons, I think I look more shiny on camera than I'm really in real life, but this is probably because of the lights that reflect on my face, and I'm a bit dewy, which is normal after 10 hours of wearing without doing any touch-up. I don't want to say too much, excepting the fact that foundation wears as I remember, meaning great and without any patchiness or separation. I think I will shine free for at least 6-7 hours. The only thing I see is the fact that it's worn a bit on my chin, but other than that, if I touch it up with a bit of a setting powder, I still can wear it for several hours. So yeah, this is still one of my favorite foundations. I will give it 5 out of 5 stars. But wait, don't get up on your high horses. We still have 2 days and 2 foundations to test, so anything can happen. Day number 5 starts with a new foundation from Maybelline. I think this is their latest release in terms of foundation, and probably it was meant to be a dupe of the IT Cosmetics SPF CC+ stuff. I was tempted to purchase this foundation since I found that it was coming out, but this product is not yet available on Czech Republic at the moment when I'm filming this review. We are now in the middle of September. It is delivered in 16 saturated shades. Now the online swatches can be a bit deceiving, so from this reason I was nervous to order it online, but I've bought it from abroad, from the actual drugstore. It is the only foundation that is coming into a squeezy tube. Actually, I'm not bothered about that. The Maybelline Urban Cover Flawless Coverage Foundation retails for $12.99 US and is slightly cheaper than the Loreal Infallible Freshwear, but you do get less available shades, which is a bit of a drawback. I'm filming in parallel a full face using only Maybelline makeup products, so I will link that video up on the card when or if it will be available at this moment. So this product claims to offer a full coverage, has an SPF 50 broad spectrum protection, and is enriched with antioxidants to protect against pollution. Ooh, so this is something which is really exciting. I agree the full coverage claiming when I apply it with the brush. It also blends very nice with the brush. If I use the sponge method application, I get medium coverage as usual, and I really like this result. It is even slightly buildable in case you need more coverage when you use the sponge. I love the fresh skin that I get after I've added this product, and also the shade, it matches me perfectly. It is the second time I'm wearing it, but now I like it better because first time I was a bit more tan and I was afraid I got the wrong shade. I have purchased it because I wanted to have a 2-in-1 product that I can use in the morning when I get ready for work and I don't have to wait between applying SPF and then foundation. I forgot to show you if it oxidizes, but I remember it didn't do so much. I'm looking in the mirror and I still can't believe that I've applied this foundation 9 hours ago. First time I've used it with the primer underneath and I thought that the primer helps it, but actually now I came to my old thought that if a foundation is not good, no primer will save that. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but the skin looks absolutely flawless. I think it's looking even better than when I've freshly applied because it is a bit dewy and the skin is looking a bit more natural. So this is the first foundation that it hasn't collected between my eyebrows fine lines. The only thing it did is it a bit worn off of my chin, but let me tell you that I don't know what I'm doing during the day, but no foundation can resist to my chin. With this Maybelline foundation, it's even amazing that is it so long wearing because it doesn't have these claims to it. The only thing I believe it helps to stay on my skin is the fact that it has skincare products that nourish the skin and decrease the oil production. However, this is very close as wear time with my IT Cosmetics CC Plus Matte SPF 40. But the bonus points are the shade is really matching me all year around, not only during summer. It has SPF 50 and it costs the third of the price from the IT Cosmetics CC Plus stuff. So yay! The last foundation that we are going to test in this video is coming from Colourpop. Now technically Colourpop is not official a drugstore brand, but we all know their prices are. So I've got their no filter stick foundation in shade Fair 27N and they have a total range of 30 shades. It claims to offer medium buildable coverage that instantly blurs pores, covers blemishes and blends effortlessly for a natural skin-like finish. Never cakey or drying. We shall see that. This is the first swatch. I feel that is pretty light for me now and a bit on the pinky side. For stick foundation, I will use this brush from BH Cosmetics, which is my favorite one so far. This is the only stick foundation that we are going to test for this video, and to be honest, I've worn it during spring, but I do not recall how it was acting throughout the day. Woohoo! You don't see what happens because you are not so close to me, but the product sank into my pores. Oh my god, this looks awful, so the first claim is gone. Well, by applying it with beauty sponge, the coverage is a bit more natural. But still, we've applied a bunch of foundations with a brush before and we haven't seen this disaster. Too bad because the formula is pretty creamy and it glides on so nice. So keep in mind, the best way to apply it is with a beauty sponge, especially if you've got enlarged pores. So I wanted to set it with the powder, especially sitting in the area where I tend to lose the coverage easy, as for example my chin. The good news is that it's nearly not oxidizing. This is the full face of makeup and I have used this lipstick, which I will add it on the description box if you are interested. Guys, I have an update after 5 hours of wear. I have to go out and I cannot leave the house like this. The foundation looks horrible. It sets onto my skin and emphasizes all the problems that I even didn't know that I have. So I will blot it a bit and I will add a very thin layer of powder. So here we are after 10 hours of wear. Too bad that the price is good and the texture is so nice and creamy. If you are anywhere similar to my skin, you will hate this foundation. I have only once or two times when I did a try on haul and I did not remember how it was, but definitely now it's something I will not be reaching for unless I will find a primer that will help grip a little bit on my skin and make it a bit more wearable. I can see on the footage that I have left some traces of chocolate on my skin. Gross! Oh my god! So this is the last foundation that we have tested today, and I give it a thumbs down and 2 out of 5 stars just because I'm being gentle today, as being Saturday. So here we go guys, these are all the drugstore foundations that we have tested on this video. Now you know which one is the bad and which one is the winner. I will always love my Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and for the price I think you can't go wrong. I don't get along really well with really heavy full coverage foundations, so Loreal Infallible Freshwear is not working for me, but the one that has most surprises me, it was the Maybelline Urban Cover Flawless Coverage Foundation. Not only that provides the right coverage, but looks natural and doesn't emphasize any texture on the skin, and it is also infused with skincare benefits and SPF broad spectrum 50, which makes it a multitasking product. So yeah, I have found another holy grail foundation. Okay dear friends, if you are still here with me after this marathon, I would like to thank you, and I hope you will give this video a thumbs up and also you'll subscribe if you are not yet. And if it happens to know someone who can benefit from watching this video, then just please share it with them. And even if you don't and just want to help growing a smaller channel, then I would appreciate and I would like to thank you in advance for doing so. I will link down on the description box the drugstore concealer video where I put to the test 5 drugstore highly rated concealers, so you can watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. And also don't forget to follow me on my social, that is always linked down below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I want to wish you all to have a great, blessed day ahead. And I will see you again really soon. Stay blessed. Mwah.